One of the things that students always seem to have trouble with is putting an equation that looks like this, y equals x squared plus 5x minus 2, into standard form, which is y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. And this is very important in understanding how to graph and deal with this function. And so I'm going to take various kinds of quadratics, various different looking quadratics, and put it into this form. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I want to create a perfect square trinomial. In other words, I want to create a trinomial such that it will factor into a binomial squared, and obviously this will not do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the square on these two terms. And so I write y equals x squared plus 5x, okay, plus the number I need, okay, a minus 2. You know, I really should have perhaps moved it over to the left a little more. Let me write that again. Y equals x squared plus 5x, okay, plus the number I'm going to need. Then I have to keep my minus 2. But if I add a number to one side of the equation, I also have to subtract it. So I have to remember to put a number here to use to complete the square, and then I have to subtract it off over here. So I put a sign here to make sure I don't forget. Now the number I need right here to make a perfect square trinomial is 1/2 of this number. This is the x coefficient, okay, the coefficient multiplies times x. 1/2 of that squared. So I want 1/2, if you can read this. This chalk is giving me trouble. Let me get another piece. 1/2, okay, times 5 over 1 quantity squared, which gives me 5/2 squared, which of course is 25/4. Okay, so the number I need right here is 25 over 4. But again, so I've completed the square here, but if I add a number, I also subtract it, 25 over 4. Now I can get rid of this. That's how I did it. I took 1/2 of 5 and I squared the result. Now I can write this as y equals, now it's what I do is something squared. It's going to be the square root of x, the square root of 25/4, and I use the sign right here next to x squared as the sign that I use in the middle. And the square root of that is 5/2. And if you re-square this, you'll get these three terms if you use FOIL. Now this is 2, which is really minus 8/4, isn't it? I make minus there. Minus 8/4 minus 25/4. Students always ask me, where did you get 8/4 from? Well, 4 times 2 is 8, 8/4. And notice that if you divide 4 into 8, you do get 2. And so it works. And of course this will be 23/4. So my final result is y equals x plus 5/2 squared minus 23/4. And of course this is exactly the same equation as this. In other words, if you put an x in here, you'll get the same y as if you put the x in here. Same set of ordered pairs. Only this tells you where the vertex is, and the vertex, of course, opposite direction of the sign here, 5/2, with the direction of the sign here, 23/4, and that's our vertex.